Welcome back to another episode of Black Girls Texting. It's your girl, Sade. Hey, bitches.
It's your girl, Charles Pinky.
I didn't know we were singing and I'm not prepared. It's Glenn. Oh, I kind of sang.
That was melodic.
For the mid face. So are you noticing like volume loss to your cheeks, or you just want like more of a lifted look? Like, what are your goals there?
Yeah, I think these used to have a little bit more volume, and I think it looks nicer, not when it's like too much, like a lion, but like a little bit there.
So a lot of my patients in their like late 20s, early 30s will start noticing, like I said, the early signs of aging where we lose volume. We have fat pads in our face. They start getting smaller. They start separating. They start sinking. And so they're like, oh, my cheeks aren't as full as they used to be. They're not as lifted. Oh, what is this line here? Again, only our personal self is seeing that. I don't think anybody else is looking at that. But it's just these early signs where we are losing volume. We can use filler to help create that like lift in through the mid face. My big things that I'm thinking about are making sure that it doesn't look pudgy by putting too much filler. So we want to use the right filler. You are like a young girl that had, not a young girl, but you know what I'm saying? You're a young woman.
I'll take a young girl.
You already have fullness, so I don't want it to be pudgy. I don't want it overdone. So like using a really structured filler, and again, doing it in stages. What I expect and what most of my girls like this age like are to create kind of like this highlight where it'll look like they put on highlighter laterally on your cheek. But I don't want it super full here. You know, if you don't have, it can look a little weird. I don't know. It can look a little off. But like a little highlight, they like, oh, it looks like I put on makeup, or I have a cheek pop is what a lot of people will tell me. My cheeks look pulled back. That's what they'll notice through here.
Yeah, like when you have the ponytail that, not here, but you know, it's a little more.
That's what they notice, and that's what they like. And I tell them it's this fine line of, I'm not trying to have this overdone where it looks pudgy. Like I just want to create that little highlight, and we let it be. When we do it, it looks more exaggerated in the beginning. Some people love it like right when I finish because it's like extra. It's just like more dramatic. And the second day, even more dramatic with swelling. Other people are nervous about it, and I'm like, it's not going to stay like this. So it'll get more swollen like that first, week, 2 weeks, the swelling is. 6 to 8 weeks, it's like completely settled. But like after a couple weeks, you have a pretty good idea of what it will be. Considerations here, we don't want to press on it. You don't want to lay on your face. You don't want to go to a sauna, no gua sha, facials, like putting heat on it, rubbing it. You can move it. So it's moldable for up to a month. So if you're doing all this and like you're going to move it from where we placed it, don't touch your face. Like sleep on your back, a little propped up. That will help to help with the swelling. And it'll also, you just don't want to be messing with it.
And that's like something you need to do, you said, for a week?
I try to tell patients like a couple weeks, and then for like sleep on your back 1 to 2 weeks, but like laying on the face, pressing it, washa, facial massages, like I wouldn't do for a month after, so that you're not moving it. And again, sometimes people are nervous with, like when I did my mom, this is a long time ago, first time I did her under eyes, you swell, with the injections. She was so nervous. She's like, you did too much. She kept pressing it. I was like, mom, like chill, press it. And then like after a couple of weeks and it settled down, she was like, I need more. I was like, no, like I'm trying to like create this lifted effect. I know it looks extra in the beginning. It will chill out, but now you basically displaced the product. Instead of it having like a lifted effect, it's just flat. So I tell people, hands off, let it, so you don't need to massage it. It's all going to settle. You're not going to feel it. Like I don't feel filler in my face. It just takes time for it to like mesh in with your skin.
Okay. The sleeping on the back thing, I'll need to practice that.
A lot of people say that. I'm like, I know it's kind of hard, but it's worth it. And sleeping on your back is just going to be good because sleeping on our face or on the side can like create creases and lines as well. So
yeah, I heard that. I saw like this like beauty pillow that I might buy, but yeah.
So that is for cheeks. Big thing, like I said, I expect a little bit of highlight, a little bit of volume replacement. You look like, from what I can see on the camera, you already have cheeks, so I'm not trying to make it overdone. And then for your chin, can I see you from like the side? And then pull your hair back, and then other side. Okay. So for your chin, and this is like, it's not just Black girls. There's a lot of people, but I feel like a lot of Black men and women, we have full lips, we have full noses, full cheeks. Our bone tends to like sit back a little bit more, and then our chin, like, so our features are like very prominent here, and then our chins can be a little bit shorter. So filler here helps to like elongate the jawline, helps to bring some highlight to the lower face. So I don't do makeup, but if I come on TikTok videos, I see them put highlighter. Like wherever they're going with highlighters, a lot of times where I'm going with filler. So they're putting highlighter, trying to bring a little light to the lower face. It does give some balance since we have, you know, more fullness in through here into the lower face. Considerations when I'm doing the chin. One, again, do it in stages. I don't want it to look overdone. I want it to look like you. And my team will like send you pictures so you can see what this looks like. But I want to make sure it's not just filler here. We have to make sure we bridge it to the jawline, or else it'll look like just a ball of filler. That looks weird. Oh. And then sometimes we treat into like the corner of the mouth, the line above the chin, just so that it blends through. So I tell people, if you only put filler right here, it looks like a ball of filler. Like it just, it's not balanced. It doesn't blend it. It just looks, a little off. So when doing the chin, it can take multiple syringes because we have to connect it to the jawline and we have to soften the shadows. So it doesn't look, again, just like a little chunk of filler right there. I like it for my face. Like I've done my whole face. My under eyes, my chin, and temples. Those are like always my favorite 3 areas to like treat. For me, I had like a lot of dimpling on my chin. Like again, my lips are full. So I didn't ever think about this. I didn't think I knew about it until it took a while before I'd been injecting for a long time and I didn't know about this area. Yeah. And I think the industry has come a far way. When I first started injecting, we were only like doing smile lines and lips. And like now we're really looking at the full face. So again, it's this thing like you will probably notice, other people are not going to notice. Guys tend to try to like camouflage it by wearing beards or goatees.
Man makeup.
Yes, exactly. So if I look at the NBA, I'm like, I can already tell, like, if I look at their before photos, like when they were younger versus like where they are, a lot of them wear like beards to kind of camouflage. And I do this area for men a lot, and women, but like they can kind of hide it a little bit. So yeah, it's this thing that you will notice. Nobody's going to ask you who did your chin filler. And we can like show pictures so you can see what it looks like. And then, like I said, do it in stages.
And it mainly that it fixes not fixes, I don't want to say fixes, but it improves your profile, or does it improve the straight on as well?
Straight on as well. Profile is like probably the most noticeable you'll see on the photos. That's where patients will tell me like they feel confident taking pictures from the side. From the front, depends on what I'm doing. So some people want like more of a V shape. Some people want to square out their chin. Like guys want me to like make their chin look more square and like pronounce it more. Sometimes a girl will have more of a square chin and she wants it more V. So like from the front, it can change depending on what we're doing. If somebody from the front is not super like bothered by what they look like from the front, it's mostly the profile. I don't try to change the shape. I just bring it forward. But we can like customize it and do little things. Like some people want to keep a cleft in their chin. Some people have a cleft and they don't want it. So all those things like we can address with injectables.
Yeah. Do you have an opinion on what mine should or?
It's honestly kind of like hard to see because it's blurry on here.
No.
I would say like to make it look just the most like you, just bring it forward some.
Okay, cool.
Sometimes people will tell me they have like sometimes they will like almost pose like they know how to like bring their jaw forward. They're like make their face do it in photos. Yeah, so some people like learn to how to like camouflage it by doing little things. But yeah.
Cool. And
Uh,
then is there something to do for Technic?
oh, Technic. So for the lines, I tell patients we can't get rid of them where it's going to look like you have nothing at all on your neck. We can soften lines with a really, really thin filler. You don't want anything bulky or robust. Like chin, I want to use like something more robust. Cheeks, I want to use something more robust that's going to like create this lift. Here, the skin is so thin. Those lines are typically pretty thin. A thin filler to soften them. They're not going to be like you have no lines at all because we are still like doing this all day.
Yeah.
Patients really like that one. It does smooth them out, but it's just they're not gone 100%. And when you do that one, the skin is so thin here. I just tell them like expect to be bruised. Expect it could look like you got choked or something because I have to go into the line like little dots all across the line. But patients really like that. They'll do it when they can like wear a scarf or something just to kind of cover it.
Okay. Cool. Well, I think my just off of our conversation, the most thing I'm nervous about is probably pain because my pain tolerance is very minimal. I have no tattoos because I'm afraid of that kind of stuff. And just making sure I don't ruin it by sleeping on my face.
People they like figure out how to like make sure they don't mess with it. So pain wise, what we do, we give you ice when you come into clinic. So when you come in, we do like your photos, we do go all through your consents. You and I will chat again. We'll go through everything where I can really see your face in person. We'll say, okay, based off what I can see here, this is where I think we're going to land today, you know, based on your goals. Let's start here. I kind of give like a smaller range and say, you know, let's see where we land. And then the rest we can do at another appointment if you want, if we want to like add after the swelling is done. Then the injecting part, we clean your skin off really well. I have one or two assistants in the room. Somebody helps to like tap your shoulder. It distracts from the pokes. I know it sounds like weird, but people always say, they're always like, oh my gosh, that really helps. How that really works. Like just tapping, it just distracts. I give you ice, and then so I'll have you ice, and then I do a couple pokes, and then I let you ice again. The patients will like, you feel the pokes, but they're like, it's not too bad. There's lidocaine mixed into the filler. And so also after a few pokes, it starts to numb up the area inside.
Okay.
It's pretty quick just because I've been doing it for a while. So I can kind of like get to the point because I know what I'm looking for and what to do. So I say, make sure you like eat something that day. If you can like just lay back, close your eyes for a few minutes and like chill, I can get through it. It's when patients are like, like they're doing that. If they're like psyching themselves out, I'm like, dude, you're gonna pass out. Like,
Yeah.
don't do that. If I know it's gonna feel pokey, it's gonna be annoying, but it's gonna be quick. Like we can get through this pretty fast. They always tell me after, even the ones that are like nervous, they always say, oh my gosh, like that wasn't even bad. But I was like getting super anxious and making it worse than it needed to be. And if they're really anxious, they're like, they're just doing the most in it. And afterwards they tell me it really wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I'll say lips are probably like the most sensitive area, which you didn't even talk about.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, they're big enough.
I feel for myself. But yeah.
And is there things you can do? Like maybe like, you know how you can buy the numbing stuff in the drugstore? Should you do that or take like a Tylenol or something?
You can take a Tylenol. I wouldn't. So I tell patients I don't do topical numbing, and I'm like, this is not to be mean, but the thing is, the numbing cream, it usually makes people swell. They get like red. Some people get really irritated from it. Most people just get red and a little bit swollen. For me, I'm looking at like fine details on the face where I'm like, if you're swollen, even a little bit, it throws it off. Like I'm looking for lights and shadows and how light bounces off the face. Like I said, for me, I'm like, oh, like nobody can see this little thing, but I'm like, I can see this. I can see these little corners of the mouth. Like where
I don't see anything.
I don't know. People, it's like, this is how I feel too when I'm doing my patient. I'm like, nobody sees this. I get it because I'm doing this for work, but like nobody's
Yeah.
looking at that. But if you're swollen, I can't see it. And so I'm like, it throws me off. I can't see what I like need to do, especially for these like a lot. Again, my work like is really fly under the radar, the little details that make a big impact. So I'm like, that's why I don't numb. If somebody's just like deathly afraid, I'm like, we can put this on, but they're still, even with numbing cream, they still
You'll
feel
feel
it.
it.
I'm like, it's still gonna be a poke. It's not like if you have numbing cream, you don't feel anything. So you're
Yeah.
still gonna feel the pokes. With the ice, it's quick. And I transfer most of my products into like Botox needles. So like really thin, thinner than the ones that they give us in the box for the filler.
Oh,
So
okay.
that helps. But they tolerate it fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's just like I said, and we send you like all this prep to do before and after. So you can like we have it all written out, but basically it's like avoiding blood thinners, avoiding alcohol that helps minimize bruising and swelling, taking arnica, which is like an herbal supplement, eating pineapple that also helps with bruising and swelling. So people that do this leading up to their appointment, like a week or two, they don't bleed as bad, they don't bruise as bad. They're like, some people are like, I had no bruising at all. And I'm like, that's pretty great because I expect you to bruise if I'm putting a needle in your face.
Right.
So the ones that prep, they do way better. The ones that say, I didn't do it, I forgot, I took Advil this morning, like they're just bleeding more. It takes me longer to do what I need to do because they're bleeding so much. So, but everybody we do these calls to, I would say like 9 out of 10 patients really follow through and do like they're ready for their appointment.
Yeah.
And then after it's gonna just be like icing. Don't go crazy exercise for a few days. Don't get in a sauna. This heat can make you swell longer. And we said don't lay on your face. Don't get a facial. Don't get a massage. Don't do gua sha. Like you can wash your face. I just wouldn't be pressing super hard anywhere.
Okay. And you said no exercising for how long?
Depending on what you do, I would say like 3 to 5 days, like try not to be crazy exercise. Like you can walk, but I just wouldn't be getting super sweaty. And then if you are going to exercise, just ice after, just so that
Okay.
you're not so swollen.
Okay. Oh, and one last question.
Mm.
Makeup, because if you're putting stuff in the face, you probably can't wear makeup, right?
So not the first day. I want like all the little holes closed from the pokes. And it's not like big holes on your face. It's like tiny little needle pokes, but I
Right.
don't want bacteria in the skin. So no makeup for the first 24 hours. After that, the next day you can wear your makeup and cover. If you had a bruise, you can wear that. And then you can't
Okay.
be pregnant, can't be breastfeeding. Generally, these patients are healthy. Like if somebody is going through like treatments for something uncontrolled, I'm like, I want to just make sure like your health is well first before we're trying to do this cosmetic stuff.
Yeah. Cool. I feel like I got a lot of information. Did I miss anything? Like, are there
So
frequently asked
safety,
questions?
I like to go over safety with all my patients before we do anything. Safety for fillers, what I want to make sure is that we're not blocking blood flow off by putting too much filler in any spot. We've got blood vessels all over our face, all over our body. If we're putting too much filler anywhere or into a blood vessel, there's a potential that we block blood flow. So I'm looking for your skin color to be normal when we're doing this, not any paler than normal. You should not have any extreme pain. You should not have any vision issues. If you had any of those signs, it could be a sign that, okay, somehow we're blocking blood flow from its normal path, and we would dissolve the filler.
Okay.
In the 10 plus years I've been injecting, I've never had to dissolve anybody for any emergency,
Okay.
any
That
part of their
sounded
face.
scary.
I tell people so they know, because I think, but I want to say this is very rare. Like any part of their face, any filler ever, I've never had to do it. So super rare. We have all the stuff to intervene if we have to. But I say this because I will hear from people that will tell me they went to a clinic and they didn't have any dissolver in their clinic. And I'm like, if there was an emergency, like they couldn't take care of it. Or people just think, they can buy some filler off the black market and like do this themselves. I'm like, we want to be mindful with what's going on here. I know it like looks all cute and glamorous and fun, but like, and it's really great, but there's still like science behind this, and the medical thing we want to be careful of is not blocking blood flow off, causing tissue death by just trying to put so much filler in there. That's another reason
Yeah.
why I'll say do it in stages. the more filler I put in a single area, the higher risk there is to block blood flow off. So those are the things I'm like looking for. And I want people to know all these like rare risks that we are, you know, just being mindful of as we do the treatments.
Okay. And then, sorry, one last question just came up. When you do it, do you have to, like, if you've been doing it for years, is it like you have to keep putting a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more over time?
You don't have to, but like
That's
once
what
you
people
like
do.
see it lifted, you don't have to. Like, again, I haven't done anything in over, you know, a year and a half because of my baby, but like I can keep living, but I'm continuing to age as well. And like as my product is wearing down, your filler is gonna last usually like 1 to 2 years, depending on what we're doing. It could
Yeah,
be
I'm like, you
longer.
look like you, like, it's not like you have stuff, but you don't look,
It's like little
you
things that
look
like
good.
I can
Yeah.
tell. Again, nobody
Yeah.
would know, but I'm like, oh shoot, like there's little spots. But like it's not a big deal. Like if you don't do it, it's fine. You're gonna continue to age, you know, just that happens.
Yeah.
If it bothers you, you can put something there, but you don't have to like keep it up. But I will say once the patients see it, they want to keep it up. I see all my patients like I see them. Even if it's only once a year, like I will see them the next like it's a thing for them. Once they start it, they're like it's a confidence thing, like an inner confidence they feel excited about and they want to maintain.
Yeah. As a professional in the industry, though, do you have like a limit? Like, I'm not putting more of this in, you know, like, I'm not going to keep putting more.
Oh
You've
yeah,
had
yeah.
enough.
So I'll tell patients like if it's not going to look right. So the other thing is we always have a conversation. Even for these ones I've been treating 10 years, I treat their whole freaking family. Like I have people like that. It's still every time they come in, we talk about like where we are. What are you seeing? What even if I see them every 3 months for 10 years, it's still what are you feeling? All of those things and we're making little tweaks. If it's
Hmm.
oh, I'm getting ready for my big birthday party and I want to be a little more glam, okay, that's one thing versus hey, you know, I didn't. It's always changing. It just depends on that person and where they're at.
Yeah.
If there is something, if you were just like, I think it's not gonna like suit you, I'll say, hey, like, I don't think this will look right. Um, I want to make sure we're on the same page before we do something. If I'm not on the same page, I'm gonna table this and like, I'm not gonna do this today. Let's revisit at the next thing. Sometimes patients are like, oh, actually, you're right. Like that doesn't bother me, or it was a different part of the face that we treated, and that kind of solved it. Um, if they keep bringing it up and it still bothers them and it's like within reasonable limits, I'm like, okay, like I don't think you need lip filler, but like you feel like you want it, we can do this. We talk about it like that. It's like a conversation, but I'm not
Yeah.
gonna just like do stuff just because the patient says do it. Like it's not. I want to make sure it looks right because also like whatever I'm doing, I'm putting my name on. You know, like
Right.
I don't want to be like, oh, I did. Like it has to look right. So I just want us to like talk it through. But again, I'm not the beholder of beauty. It's like what will make that patient feel more confident and beautiful. And yeah, we talk it through and we go from there.
Well, cool. I think I got a lot of information. I think this is going to be helpful for everyone that's curious about this kind of stuff. Um, and I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I think it'll be great. And like if you think of more questions, we can jump on another call in person. We'll go through stuff. And usually what happens is people start with like one thing and then they start looking at their face more and they're like, what about this? Like use me as a resource. I will tell
Yeah.
you whatever I know. If there's something that's like not in my lane or I'm like, look, I think that is more of a surgical thing or that's a procedure I don't perform, like I'll give you my insight and like where you can like find more information or whatever. But I'm like, use me. I love it. I can talk about it like day in and day out. This is all I really kind of do day in and day out besides take care of all my kids. So yeah.
And I have this information, and I don't know how Frank, our producer, is going to clip it, but can you just share where people can find you on social media?
Yeah. So you can follow on my social media pages. It's at Ginille_NP. It's GINILLE_NP or Ginille Beauty Aesthetics. If you just want to see before and afters, that's where we just post like our clinic before and afters.
Awesome.
But I do like a
Well,
lot of info on all this stuff so we can, you can learn more about treatments you and I didn't even discuss, but there's a lot that we can do. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw there was one treatment with like the more vertical lines. There was like a Botox thing. I feel like I saw. Yeah, but
Botox there, Botox migraines, TMJ symptoms. Those are like really common. Nose filler. Like I do it all. I love it.
yes.
So
Well, I love that you love it. I feel like that's important because you're gonna take care of your clients.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for your time. I know you're busy with your new baby, so I appreciate it. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, we'll connect soon. I look forward to it.
Yes, me too. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, and then Chelsea, did my team already talk to you about